I was 8 or 9 at the time. I was an extremely skinny small little girl for my age. I hung out at the very bottom of the height and weight charts at the doctor's office. Adults would often mistake me for a child of 6, which I absolutely hated. It was summertime and my mom was home making lunch. I asked to go ride my bike. The rule was not around the block, just to the corner and back. We lived in a very small quiet town on a street that hardly ever had traffic unless it was the neighbors coming and going. My corner was about 8 houses down from my own house. I was cruising along on my new bike and I didn't quite hit the bumpy spot in the sidewalk correctly and I crashed pretty hard. I was laying there all twisted around my bike shaking. My helmet had fallen off because I never buckled the bottom strap to be cool. I felt all shaky and I then worried I'd get in trouble for not buckling my helmet strap, assuming my mom saw me. Maybe 30 seconds passed and a car drove up to me at that corner. I had a car stop and a mom's voice said, "Oh honey, are you okay?" I was trying to not cry by this point. I look up expecting a neighbor and I see a stranger. The man looked dirty and you could see all kinds of garbage all inside his car. The garbage was right up to all the windows and the car was rusty. He had pulled his car right over in such a way that he was almost right on the sidewalk in front of me. He had stayed in his car but he was leaning way out of his driver's side window and his door was a little open looking at me. He then said, "Come on, I'll take care of you." I lied and said I wasn't hurt. He got angry with me and said he'd just take me home. I remembered thinking, where would I sit? I said to him, "I'm not hurt." Then he said, "If you're not hurt you have to prove it." So I took all my strength and I untangled my legs and stood up. Then the man gave me a terrible angry look and peeled out and disappeared. I was so scared I took my shaky legs and I ran home crying. I left my helmet and my bike laying there. I tell my mother what happened and she walked down and grabbed my bike and helmet after lunch. As an adult I asked her if she remembered that incident. She told me that when she had walked to the corner to grab my things, she saw the tire tracks right up to the sidewalk. The car had pulled way over across where I must have fallen and it also blocked me from view of anyone driving by. She thought maybe the man would have kidnapped me but she wasn't sure. I was told that he probably just wanted to help. Then I was told again to not talk to strangers. If I need help then I can only talk to a mommy with kids. I think that the dirty-looking man wanted to take me. He probably saw what he thought was a 5 or 6-year-old and was disappointed when I wasn't young enough and hurt enough to easily get picked up. It still creeps me out thinking how angry he got at me. If he'd been a tiny bit nicer I might not be alive today.